Hi everyone, and welcome to our video, which is titled Solve a Quadratic Equation Using the Zero Product Property. And remember, product means multiplication, so this property has something to do with quadratic equations, which we've been studying, and multiplying and zero. So check it out. This is what it says. If you have two numbers, I'm just going to call the first number number 1 and the second number number 2. If you multiply these two numbers together and the product is 0, then here's the deal. Either number 1, this guy right here, must equal 0. So that would be a case like, say you had like 0 times 7, then that would be 0. So that would work. Or maybe number 2, the second number, would have to equal 0. So in that case, it would be something like maybe you had 4 times 0 would make 0. So if you have a product and the result is 0, either this first guy has to be 0 or the second guy has to be 0. Now maybe they're both 0. I wrote here, both numbers might be 0. I mean, maybe it's like this. And of course, that would also work. But one of them must equal 0, and that's what the zero product property says. So if you have a product set equal to 0, then you are to assume that either this guy is 0, so either number 1 equals 0, or the second number has to be 0. Knowing this is going to make this lesson super duper easy. So let's check it out. I've got 5 examples, and they go super fast. So check out this first example. It says solve. So see how you have two items, basically, two expressions that are being multiplied together. On the one hand, you have the x, and this is being multiplied by the second part, x minus 3. And their product is equal to 0. So this means either this guy, x, has to be 0, or this guy, x minus 3, must be 0. See how I just took both parts and set them separately equal to 0? And then I solve. Well, this one's already solved for. That's done. And then here, I want to finish by solving for x, so I'm going to go ahead and add 3 to both sides. And I'm going to get x equals 3. So if this is a true statement, then either x must be 0 or x must be 3. Now let's check it. I'm not going to make us check every one, but let's check this first one. Let's start with if x is 0, okay? So if these x's in this problem get replaced with 0, watch what will happen. We'll have 0 in the front times 0 minus 3. And that would be 0 times negative 3, which indeed is 0. So that's good because we wanted the end result to be 0. Now, we can also say, well, the other answer we got was x might be 3. So if x is 3, let's see what happens. We would have 3 times 3 minus 3. And that would be 3 times 0, which is also 0. So either one of these answers is going to make this product 0. That's it. That's all we're doing today. That's called the zero product property. Now, I have a method to my madness. I'm going to go somewhere with this tomorrow, but for today, you're just doing this. So let's go to the next one. We're going to solve for w. So we have w minus 3 times w plus 4 equals 0 when you multiply them. So this has to be 0 or this has to be 0. So let's set w minus 3 equals 0 or w plus 4 equals 0. Then solve for w. So here we add 3, and you don't have to write that. You can do that in your head. W equals 3 or subtract 4, W equals -4. And those are your two answers. And you can see it. Look, if W is 3, what's 3 minus 3? 0. So 0 times anything is 0. And if W is -4, -4 plus 4, 0. 0 times anything is 0. Ta-da! Let's go to number 3. Okay, number 3. R plus 6 times 2r plus 9 equals 0. You know what to do. Set the first one equal to 0. Or set the second one equal to 0. 2r plus 9 equals 0. Okay, solve. -6, r equals -6. Over here, we're going to have a two-stepper. First, we'll subtract 9. So that gives us 2r equals -9. And then we'll divide by 2. So we'll say r equals -9 over 2. Now, what I found, guys, when you go to the IXL for this one, when you go to type in your two answers, the -6 won't be an issue. What I did, they don't have a fraction for me to use. So I just typed into IXL, when I had a fraction, I just did -9 and then divided by 2 like that. I guess you could also put in the decimal, -4.5, but that's up to you. I just put mine in as fractions. Okay, number 4, 2 to go. 5x times 2x minus 7 equals 0. So again, here's like the first guy, and we'll call him the second guy. So we set them both to 0. So 5x equals 0, or 2x minus 7 equals 0. This one, divide by 5. And x will remain 0 because 0 divided by 5 is still 0. Here, 2 steps, add that 7 first. 2x equals 7, then divide. So I would type it in as 7 over 2 like that. Or you could do 3.5. You see the pattern here. It really becomes robotic in a way. And the last one, number 5, again, this times this makes 0. So either 4x minus 5 equals 0 or 2x plus 1 equals 0. And then you solve. Let's try to do this one in our head. Add the 5, so 4x equals 5. Divide by 4, so x is 5/4. Here, subtract 1, so 2x equals -1. Divide by 2, -1/2. And those are your answers. So super easy lesson, everybody. Super easy IXL today. Check it out. The title is Solve a Quadratic Equation Using the Zero Product Property. We're coming to an idea of why we're doing this. That'll come later in the week. But for today, that's all you've got to do. Thanks for watching.